Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. The new Barbados Labour Party government plans to develop a comprehensive strategy for health care financing. There are also plans to make greater use of technology and national information systems that will allow for better patient services and delivery of care. That's according to Health and Wellness Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic.
The government will incentivize the development of daycare and other facilities for diseases such as Alzheimer's and will work with nursing and other organizations in the diaspora to develop health initiatives, including the strengthening of palliative care services. Government is committed to improving the ease of doing business through the use of technology to improve the quality and speed of delivery of high-demand services, and will also support niche tourism in health, building on our inherent capacity and potential for growth in this sector.
Lieutenant Colonel Bostic was speaking during a ceremony at the Bayview Hospital where a new Level 2 intensive care unit was opened. He was among a number of specially invited guests on hand for the official ribbon cutting as well as a tour of the unit. Hospital Administrator Julie Reed explains that it carries 2 beds and is fully set out with the latest equipment to ensure the highest levels of patient care. She adds it will also allow Bayview's doctors to perform more complex surgeries.
More specifically, Bayview Hospital can now cater for those kind of surgeries which may require post-op ventilation. And we will now also have the capacity to assist with what we call high dependency medical patients. In turn, this will reduce the transfers from Bayview Hospital, as we will now be able to support the patient that requires ventilation and increased monitoring.
Minister of Tourism and International Transport Carrie Simmons is defending increased taxes at the Grantley Adams International Airport. This comes amid concerns raised by industry officials of the airline travel and tourism fee. The stakeholders came together for a Caribbean Aviation Day 2018. Kareem Smith has more.
Stakeholders are suggesting increased taxes at the airport could do more harm than good to vital sectors, including tourism. Chief among them is President of the International Air Transport Association for the Americas, Peter Cerda. He says while profits from aviation are soaring around the globe, the Caribbean is suffering. He blames this on overtaxation of the industry.
Aviation can only be a successful engine of economic development with the right government support. We need competitive taxes, fees, and charges, efficient infrastructure, harmonized consumer laws, and efficient regulations. Without the government support in these areas, traffic growth will be, to the best of our cases, flat, or it may even begin to decrease over the next couple of years, and those passengers will go to other places around the world.
Tourism and International Transport Minister Carrie Simmons defended recent levies on the industry by government. Given the state of the economy, along with the need for significant improvements at the airport, he argues that the ends justify the means.
While we accept that there has been some disquiet, and while we would, with the greatest possible reluctance, have gone to the point of instituting the increases in departure tax which have been increased, we believe that we can treat this as an investment towards making the airport experience and all that has gone with it traditionally a completely different and enhanced one as we go forward into the future.
Another area of concern identified at the conference is the inefficiency of regional travel. President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Warren Smith, says the bank is working closely with regional carrier Liat to make a difference. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
The most sophisticated and comprehensive family resort that has ever been built in the Caribbean. That's how plans for the dashing West Coast Sandals Beaches, Barbados were described when they were unveiled during a glitzy ceremony.
Your message is very clear that if you want to put on a show, then take the show to Barbados so that Barbados can show you.
There was an electric atmosphere at the new Sandals Royal as guests waited with bated breath to find out what the Sandals Beaches experience would be. In an energetic reveal, Deputy Chairman Adam Stewart reminded everyone that Sandals Beaches is the most awarded family resort chain ever. He says right now Sandals Barbados has 1,256 employees, and the new Sandals Beaches will double that number.
This will be the single largest investment our company has ever made by twice at one go. This is going to be the most sophisticated and comprehensive family resort that has ever been built in the Caribbean. In BIM, boom. 4 villages, 1, 2, 3, 4, of different styles and concepts. Everything that Beaches and Grill and Beaches Turks and Caicos has for children's facilities, trains going around the hotel, arcades in the hotel, 20 international restaurants in the hotel. Sound good? Let me show you some more. The largest water park in the Caribbean.
Founder and Chairman Gordon Butch Stewart reminded staff of what made the brand great.
Your job, where's Philip Brown? Your job is to make those grumpy people happy as a lark. Don't make them get to you. Manners, decency, show the love. You cannot get better. People will love you, all the grumpy ones. And that's our job. When somebody comes to the bar, can I help you, sir? Ma'am, like this. Don't wait for them to call you. Every aspect of the vacation, you stay ahead of the guests.
The Beaches Barbados project will be a dramatic transformation of the Ammon Beach Resort in St. Peter. From this Sunday, July 1st, Barbadians will no longer pay road tax. Road tax for private and commercial vehicles will now be replaced with a fuel tax. Commercial vehicles will, however, pay an annual registration fee, which is 50% of the existing road tax. Where there is any change in ownership of a vehicle, be it by sale, gift, deed, will, or any other form of disposition, the said vehicle must be registered with the Barbados Licensing Authority and the prescribed fees paid. For private vehicles, the prescribed fee is $400, and for commercial vehicles, $1,000. Vehicle owners must continue to insure their vehicles in accordance with the law. Upon renewal of insurance for vehicles, owners must present proof of payment of insurance to the Barbados Revenue Authority. At least one major bakery has announced a slight increase in some of its prices and a drop in others. Purity Bakeries today announced some changes to the suggested retail prices on a range of its products as a result of the recent mini-budget. General Manager Ralph Holder says there are 2 major changes which will affect the products and the production of the bakery. They are the removal of the National Social Responsibility Levy and the imposition of fuel and garbage and sewage taxes. Mr. Holder further pointed out that the NSRL was not previously applied to all products. He says the NSRL was on products which contained added sugar, therefore the cake and pastries lines attracted the NSRL, while the line of breads did not. As a result, the Wonder and Purity branded sandwich loaves, salt bread, and sandwich making subs will see an increase of approximately 1% only from July 1st. That means, for example, that the hamburger buns, which were $3.75, will have a recommended retail price of $3.80, a 5-cent increase. But the cake and pastry line, which attracted the NSRL when it is removed, will only decrease by about 4 to 5%. So items like jam puffs, meat rolls, turnovers, and cake will see a drop in price. The Purity meat pie, which was previously $3.70 with the NSRL, after July 1st will be $3.55, a decrease of 15 cents. We'll take a short break here and come back with more news. Barbadian youth are sure about what they want to do with their lives. This was the message as the Barbados Workers Union's Youth Congress got started with its opening ceremony at Solidarity House. During the feature address, Youth and Community Empowerment Minister Adrian Ford says the youth have highlighted a need for employment, assistance in pursuing continuing education, capital for entrepreneurship, safety and security, and a need to increase a sense of hope. Mr. Ford says their requests are reasonable and attainable.
My government has also heard these pleas and has responded with alacrity to put systems in place to ensure that the social malaise that afflicted our society over the past several years is arrested, and that the youth have at this disposal a series of policies, programs, and services to address their current concerns.
The theme of the Congress is The Future We Want, and BWU General Secretary Senator Tony Moore says Barbados must accept that in order to solve the most pressing issues of our time, we need the dynamism of youth with the potential to disrupt the inertia in society.
We have so many objectives that we set for making things better, for seeing improvements. But when we talk about rocking the boat or shaking inertia, that is okay for many as an objective. But when the truth of it hits home or the reality of it comes close, many of us are unable to handle it.
19 phenomenal students graduated in a truly breathtaking ceremony at the state-of-the-art Derek Smith School and Vocational Center this morning. The 19 graduates entered the auditorium in fine style, looking spectacular in their sashes. Family, friends, and teachers, and even Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw were in for a treat as the students put on a fantastic show for their graduation. The school choir sang Michael Jackson's We Are the World. There was a near-flawless interpretive dance and a self-defense demonstration. It was a truly touching moment to see the joy on the students' faces as they received their certificates. Valedictorian Eval Burke's story is fascinating. She was one of the first students at the school, and she made the call herself, asking if she could enroll.
Even though I have some challenges, I decided that I shall push through them and improve myself. This school is here to help students like me to better our knowledge and to teach us how to live a good life and happy life.
Principal Dr. Cheryl Rock says she's pleased with the school's transition program, which exposes more of their adult students to the world of work.
The transition program embodies our motto of moving towards greater levels of independence. As for many of our students, the employment gained through this program was their first taste of the real world, of life beyond school. Such a transition program cannot operate solely by the school, and thankfully, we were able to cultivate some amazing partnerships with corporate Barbados. These trailblazers took a chance on our special population of students and offered 6-month initial job placements with the aim to review and possible full-time employment. I like to think that the benefits were mutual, with the companies experiencing committed, hardworking, talented employees, many who have been offered permanent employment following the 6-month placement.
In a moving parent tribute, Eva Field said the day was a rewarding one.
That as a parent of a child who thinks differently, that every one of us have had our very difficult days. We've had our challenges, and I'm sure that we share some common trials as we've navigated our children through school life. But today is a very different day, and I believe I speak for everyone present when I say that I am truly very, very proud of these young men and these young ladies that are sitting on the stage with me today.
And at the end, the students got a chance to party on stage with soca artist Mikey. The head of a local private school, which caters to children with special needs, is hoping to forge closer ties with government schools. According to principal of the Schoolhouse for Special Needs, Yasmin Vlakis, this would allow her school to give more of the country's special needs students the specialized care they need. Sharika Griffith has that story.
The Schoolhouse for Special Needs caters to children with a wide range of learning, developmental, physical, and moderate behavioral challenges. Since its establishment in 2006, several students, including some from mainstream government schools who presented with challenges such as the inability to read, have benefited from the type of individualized care the school provides. But principal of the schoolhouse, Yasmin Vlahakis, believes there are many more who aren't getting the early intervention they need.
They just don't have all of the wherewithal, perhaps sometimes in government situations. Not that I'm crying them down, but because of the limited resources, and there's so many kids. So in my opinion, I think if we can foster relationships with government, schools, we could kind of take some of the overflow, and that way then we can help more students across the board.
Ms. Vlahakis was speaking during the school's annual open day, which was an opportunity to showcase the work being done at the school and raise funds for the scholarship fund established to assist students from indigent families. One of the highlights was a musical rendition from student Rajman Aline, a self-taught musician on the autism spectrum, who recently sat his first practical music exam and passed with distinction. Several works of art created by students in the school's arts and craft program known as the Cottage Industry were also on display. This program focuses on helping students to develop work skills using their natural abilities.
Using those bases, we then started working on life skills, because obviously a special needs child ultimately becomes a special needs adult, and we want to make sure that they can earn, they can shop, they can bank, they can take care of themselves, because we have to face it, their parents may not be around long term. And I think we need to make parents feel comfortable, or help them to be comfortable to know that should something happen and they're not able to take, that their children can look after themselves, at least to some degree of independence.
The school started with 3 students, but today that number has grown to 21. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks, Sharika. After the break, we'll check in with our regional neighbors. In Ghana, 2 brothers were killed by 2 speeding minibuses. We get more in this report from Javon Vickery.
28-year-old Sherman West and his brother 19-year-old Shalom Allen of lots 8 to 9 Fellowship West Coast, Demerara, were both pronounced dead on arrival when these 2 buses seen here struck down the brothers while they were on a pedal cycle. Police explained that one of the vehicles, after allowing a passenger to get off, speedily drove off and collided with the left handlebar of the bicycle. Traffic officials stated that as a result of the impact, the cyclist and his brother fell on the southern side of the road where they were struck by another vehicle. It was further stated that both drivers were tested and found to be within the legal limit of alcohol consumption. Family members of the late brothers told the media that the men were returning home from visiting a friend.
I saw one of the girls coming from the station and said, well, I should come by the station because the mother is up there. Got there and she got there, she had already gone down to Reno, where the bodies were. So I proceeded to Reno and looked around and they were lying there, all dead. That's as much as I know, and the nurses tried to comfort the mother and the other brother.
Stepfather of the deceased, Philip Hudson. Both drivers are currently in police custody assisting with the investigation. Police in the district are of the opinion that speeding might have been a major contributing factor to the accident that claimed the lives of the brothers. Hudson, who is also an overseas-based Guyanese, recounted that on many occasions, drivers in particular show no respect for the police station, which is located meters away from where the accident occurred.
This place here is full of recklessness. I don't mind who say what. I stay at my window there all the time and I'm watching how people overtaking. They got no respect for pedestrians. They don't respect the road. They don't, especially the ones that are driving the minibuses. They are so reckless. I tell you, I do not come out to this yard anything after 6 o'clock in the night. Because that road, it's a death trap.
In Trinidad and Tobago, Director of the Police Public Accounts Committee, David West, has expressed his frustration over the PCA's inability to act on police shootings and allegations of police corruption. More in this CTV report.
Speaking at the PCA's meeting in Gasparilla on Thursday, Mr. West explained the authority's governing act has glaring deficiencies which hinder their effectiveness.
And we're trying to amend those deficiencies. So, for example, there are certain limitations regarding investigating extrajudicial killings and non-fatal shootings. There are limitations in active monitoring of investigations. There's the failure on the part of the Commissioner of Police to provide information in a timely and consistent manner with Section 42 of the Act.
The PCA director said the acting police commissioner did not often inform the PCA of incidents which should have got their attention in a timely manner. He called for the PCA to be included more.
During searches by police officers, when they conduct search, because what happened, for example, in St. Joseph Police Station when they found guns and ammunition, we don't know what happened to that matter. When they found drugs in another police station, and when they came to audit the drugs, all was gone, and they say rat every cocaine. Right? So we want to be there when it happens so we can supervise.
A peek into the world of sports is up next, but before we get there, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
There is no cure for asthma, but asthma can be controlled. Ask your doctor for a written asthma action plan, which will let you know what to do when there is a change in your asthma control. This tip is brought to you in association with the Asthma Association of Barbados.